Hello, everyone. Welcome to Christopher's Entertainment Blog. I'm your host, Chris, and welcome to another review video for Arrow, Season 4, Episode 18, entitled 1159. Well, guys, this was a surprising episode. Um, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised about the whole ending thing and what was going on there. But before I get to that, I'm going to say that I liked this episode overall. I thought it was way better than last week's. But there were a few nitpick negatives I had in there overall. But overall, I did like the episode. First off, one of the positives for me was the fight with Oliver and Diggle. I thought that was fantastic acting, and I actually wanted to smack Diggle across the face because I did not trust Andy at all, even from last week where they showed him, betraying the team. I was like, oh wow, what a big shocker that is. I'm not surprised at all, and I was not buying his act at all this entire episode. I wasn't surprised again. And that goes into another negative I have with that. But I did enjoy the whole tension and everything with Oliver and Diggle, and I thought that was some great stuff. I thought they were going to, like, go fisticuffs there for a minute. At least Diggle, I thought he was going to slug Oliver. At least that's what it looked like to me. But then at the end, when you find out that Andy, Oliver was right. He was right all along about Andy, and I think John Diggle at the end finding out that his brother was this scoundrel. He was betraying them the whole time. I'm interested to find out, how they're going to proceed with that now, because it's actually kind of John Diggle's fault for letting Andy, run around and have all this information, because Diggle gave his brother that intel about that. I don't know, what was it, like a diamond or whatever that piece was to the idol that was missing. So yeah, I mean, it was basically Diggle's fault in a way for actually getting Laurel killed there. So it's going to be interesting, moving forward, how that's going to affect Diggle as part of the team now, knowing that he was kind of responsible for that. So that should be interesting. But some great acting there by both actors. Finally, we get to see Damien Dark being a badass again. The last few episodes, they've really diminished that character. I mean, I really liked him early on in this season. He was a powerful, strong character, menacing, great. Great stuff with him. I mean, because Neil McDonough is a great actor, and now the last few episodes they've had, I mean, they've really diminished him. I mean, even I think since they've come back from the break, I mean, he's been really went downhill. And last week, I mean, they had him getting beat up and just diminished and weakened that character overall. I didn't care much for that. But now this one, he looks like he's back to form. He's got his power again. And what does he do? He goes and, like a ruthless villain that he is, stabs Laurel and kills Laurel at the end. So I'm really, really liking this evil, Damien Dark. Maybe the last 5 episodes, we can really get this evil Damien Dark. So I like that stuff. I thought that was really cool. Sad, but it was cool. And also, Paul Blackthorne, his reaction to Laurel being killed, that was a great moment there with Oliver in the hallway after Laurel, was killed. And then Paul Blackthorne, you see Captain Lance, that whole that his face. I mean, that was the emotional moment there, where Lance finding out that another daughter is dead. I mean, he's had such an emotional roller coaster. I mean, with Sarah, back even before all this happened, when Oliver and Sarah was actually on the ship that went down, and that he thought that Sarah was killed, and then he finds out Sarah's back again, and then Sarah's then is shot by Thea, and then she's dead, and then he had to go through that, and then she comes back, and now Laurel has been killed. I mean, that emotional roller coaster for him. I mean, that's horrible. But the emotion on his face was great. I mean, he's a great actor. I also like that heartfelt moment with Oliver and Laurel before she, somehow went into convulsions, and died. Um, so I mean, I did enjoy that heartfelt moment. It was a little diminished for me because I've been hearing some things about her, and this might be a spoiler, I don't know. But some things about her being on the Flash, Earth 2, you know, Earth 2 version of Laurel Lance being on the Flash. So I wasn't sure. I don't believe for a second that she's dead. I mean, there's a possibility, but I don't think she is because it didn't seem like the way that character would go out. I mean, it seemed kind of diminished to me, and it was a heartfelt moment, but I wasn't completely broken up about it because I felt like, well, she's not dead. I mean, I had the wheels turning in my head, thinking, is this a fake out? Is there a fake out there? Is this a ruse? Is she really dead? I'm having questions. Not like when the other characters died, like Tommy. I mean, he was like crushed. I mean, he had a building fall on him. And Moira, how she was killed, she was stabbed by Deathstroke. So I mean, those things were certain. I mean, you knew for a fact. I mean, that was it. Now with Laurel, I don't know because she had this heartfelt moment with him, which was great. And then she told him a secret, and then they cut out of the room, and then before you know it, she's dead. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what that secret was she told to Oliver. I don't know what's going on there. So and they really haven't showed the grave, the tombstone yet. I mean, they show Oliver's face, they show the grave, but we don't really know for a fact that she's in the grave yet. We haven't seen the name there on that tombstone yet. So I'm having a hard time believing that it's really Laurel. I'm thinking there might be a fake out there. But then on the other hand, it could she could be there. And if it is, then I do think they kind of, messed up with that whole ending there because there is a doubt. There is a doubt. I wish they could have it just beyond doubt, you know. Something more definitive that she's going, this happened, that she's dead. I mean, I just yeah, I just don't know if I believe it thoroughly yet. So another slight positive for me was the flashbacks. I think they were a little more interesting this week. Not much going on there, but we do find out for a fact now that there was this pact between Oliver and the Russian chick. I still don't know what her name is. Um, but you find out that they have this pact that if Oliver dies, she will go and tell Laurel that he died, or if the Russian chick dies, Oliver gets to go to Russia and tell her family. So we know for a fact that Oliver goes to Russia. So we have to believe that lady dies. Um, so that should be interesting where they go with that now. I mean, going into next season, that he has to actually end up, in Russia. So that should be kind of cool. So, but overall, I thought that there was a little more action in this flashback this week. So, I mean, that was kind of interesting. But I did like that little piece of, information finally that he's going to go to Russia and that lady's going to die. So, yeah, that was kind of cool. I didn't mind the flashbacks this week. I did have a few negatives in this episode, just a few. I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. But the thing with Andy Diggle's a negative. I'm not surprised at all that he was a traitor, and the whole ruse this whole time that they were trying to put over that he was a good guy and this and that. I wasn't buying it at all. So that was a negative. Why should I even trust this character? Why should I even care? So it would, like I said last week, it would have made it even more impactful as if he was with the team for a while and helping them, and actually you believed him. And then this turn would have been even more shocking. So, I mean, I wasn't shocked at all. I mean, I think that was a waste, really. Um, but and the other negative for me was how easy Malcolm Merlin got into the Arrow Cave. I mean, he just walks right in there. I mean, even Curtis, last week just walks right into the Arrow Cave. I mean, it's just like, come on, can't you get some better security here? I mean, yeah, I mean, I just think that's a little too easy. So yeah, I mean that's a negative. But yeah, guys, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. There was a lot more good than there was bad, and the whole death scene, with Laurel, it's got me with question marks because I don't really believe she's dead, and because I think that there's somehow like a ruse there. I mean, that's what I got to believe. I don't know what that secret was she told him, so it should be interesting. And unfortunately, we it's like a cliffhanger now because we got to wait for 2 weeks to find out if it really is her in the grave, or what's going to happen. I mean, we know that Barry Allen shows up at the grave site. I mean, he can go back in time, fix this, or what's it going to do with Sarah? She is awful in Legends of Tomorrow. She's running through time, so it's just like, what happens when she finds out? Maybe she somehow goes back in time to save her sister. I mean, there's got to be some type of a plot twist there, or a twist. I mean, I don't thoroughly believe that she's dead yet. But overall, guys, I did like the episode. But please, guys, if there's anything I missed that you guys liked about this episode, please write in the comments below. Let me know if you guys believe she's alive or dead, or if you think this is a ruse or not. Please write in the comments below. But that will do it for me for this week for another review video of Arrow. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Until then, take it easy.